Holy hell, 60 subscribers. I did not see that coming so fast. Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Mega Man Legends. Yeah, I figured I got 60 subscribers, might as well do another part of this, even though the last part was like, what, last week? The last part we did the Lake June ruins and did some side quests all around the place, and now we're going to continue on. However, we'll actually continue on doing more side quests more accurately and story progression and such. However, you're going to notice first off that this is not live commentary. The reason for that being, I did record live stuff, but the file got corrupted when I saved it. And the full recording time for this part was 1:17, and I did not feel like re-recording it, so yeah, we're going post for this one. Sorry guys if you wanted to see it live. And it's probably going to be the only part like this, and this is probably also going to be the shortest part in the series. Anyway, last part, we also got the jet skates, and once you get the jet skates, this guy appears here in K-Talk's television. And he is the final minigame in the game. Talk to him, and you go pretty much on a racetrack. Well, you get a choice of 3, actually. I can pretty much explain the rules myself. There are 3 courses, straight, left curve, and technical. I'm doing all 4 of them 4 times. Because as you notice, it says rank D and a time limit. Once you complete rank D, you get access to rank C, B, and A onwards, and the time gets less and less. And you get an awesome reward at the end of every one once you beat A. Pretty much, hold down the circle button the entire time and try to worm your way through all the cones. Golden cones stop the timer for about a second, maybe a second and a half. And this can take some time. This was the first 20 minutes of the original recording. And if you beat one of the in-game best times, you can put in a name. I don't know why I went with Faye, but I did. I think it's because I may have just finished, what's it called? Merlin. So now I have to do that 3 more times, with each time having decreasing time. That was redundant, but oh well. And upon beating the 4th one, rank A, you get a special reward, otherwise you only get Zenny. For beating the straight courses rank A, you get... Well, first off, I love how I was right on the time that you needed. You win a music box. That's the 3rd item you can give to Roll by talking to her, which I'm still not sure if those do anything. Left curve course is a bit trickier because you need to time your turns. Basic rules, as I mentioned, are go in between all the red cones. If you miss a cone and go into the next one, or miss a pair of cones and go into the next one, or if you go through the same pair of cones twice, you have to start over. That's pretty much it. And let me say, you're going to want to get used to learning how to curve right so you can get the golden cones, because you need to do those in order to get the best times on some of these. The basic setup is I'm showing off the first one, and then I'm cutting to when I beat the rank A. For winning rank B, you get the Omni unit. That's a +1 to all stats on your Buster. It's not that useful, but it has its uses, I suppose. If you didn't get all the Buster parts I've already gotten, that is really useful. And now it's time for the hardest one, the technical course. This combines both courses into one. And this is really tricky, actually. While I wouldn't do it on your first run through. Whenever you have to do this and whenever you fail, try and go for the golden cones just so you can get used to the movement. Because if you... Well, first off, there's me failing because I went through the same cone twice. Because for the final one, the rank A of this, you downright need to hit every cone. There's literally no other way you can do this unless you probably use some sort of hacking. And that was rank D. I actually failed it the first time, which is kind of surprising. And you actually get some pretty decent Zenny out of this. I think I have 68,000 at this point. So yeah, this was me in the original recording pausing to explain the golden cones, but now it's time for me to beat this until rank A. That took a while. The reason that I'm on this goal for so long is I was pretty much going, yes, 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 because I was here for like 20 minutes. Technical technical course rank A is not easy. And for beating that, you get the giant horn, which is an item for the museum. So you are required to do this if you want the ultimate weapon in the game. And now we're done with K-Tox. We never have to return here at all.
That's quite a find you've got there. It's called a giant horn. Maybe you've seen some rich people on TV with these on display in their houses? They're worth a lot. Would you let me put it on display here, please?
I have no other choice because I want the ultimate weapon, so yeah. And I am skipping the thank you so much dialogue because we've heard that how many times at this point? Anyway, now I'm coming to the PlayStation because you remember last part I said there were side quests I couldn't do just yet. I was wrong about this if I'm actually correct. I could do them now, I just needed to talk to him twice. Anyway, the first mission that you can get from him, out of the two that you actually get directly from him, someone apparently dropped something downtown, and he doesn't understand what they mean, so he's asking us to go and check it out. And let me tell you, this one isn't that worth it to do, but I'm going for completion, essentially, aside from maybe getting all weapons, so I gotta do it. Yay! Why'd I show that little scene at the PlayStation? Okay. Anyway, over at downtown... It's a bomb! Ba-bomb! So essentially, there's 3 bombs, well technically, well 2 now, and the other 2 are hidden throughout the town. They're in the same location every time as far as I'm aware. And to find them, you need to talk to the 2 people that are here, the construction worker and the lady. I know where they are, and they're over here in this section of town. One lady, I think the lady tells you that one's next to a green house. And by the way, you are timed on this. If you wait too long, they will explode and destroy nearby buildings. And the other one is on a rooftop, generally one right near the greenhouse. And for doing that, we get the bomb and the plastique. Those actually make some really good buster parts, so I recommend doing this. And after that, you have to return to the inspector to complete the mission, technically. And let's talk to him. Man, they reported on those bombs fast, actually, because if those just happened, Jesus. Then again, it's like an RPG. Then again, this is technically the closest thing to a action RPG Megaman, so I guess like all RPGs and action RPGs, news travels faster than we do. Anyway, the next one, you actually have to enter, enter the room that his office in order to trigger. And apparently, a man came to us saying that he had lost his money that he was going to use to build his house. Or, in my case, probably rebuild. And he dropped the bag somewhere, and the bag's out there in the lobby. The owner of the bag's out there in the lobby. And then we should go talk to him. This is an annoying side quest. Because you might think it's one of those side quests that if you know where it is, the bag is right off the bat from multiple playthroughs and such, you can just go and get it immediately. Nope! This is one of those side quests where you have to talk to everyone in order to trigger the bag being where it is. Pretty much, it's a fetch quest. It's the closest thing to it. After talking to him, you have to go to the electronics shop over in Apple Market. You might be thinking that that's the parts shop where we can buy stuff. Nope. I don't think I've actually shown the place off. It's called Staples Electronics. I wonder if that's an actual homage to Staples. And in here you have to talk to the cashier. Because, yeah. And he'll say that he was going to go get something to eat. Thankfully, this isn't after a certain other side quest where I'd have to do more backtracking. After that, just talk to the lady at the Jet Lag Bakery. I'm feeling a sneeze coming, but I'm going to try and hold it back. And she'll say he brought some bread left and had something to look up. This is actually a first. Actually means that we have to go to the library in downtown. This is an area I've actually never been, so I might as well show it off, right? I don't actually go into depth at the library. I might during the second to last part if I have extra time. Anyway, the library is this big white building that you can find here in downtown. It's partially destroyed. If it gets destroyed enough, you actually can't enter it, so be careful during the boss with Tron really early in the game. Gary Oak, is that you? Blue, what are you doing here? Oh, it's a girl. Yeah, that's a resemblance, right? Anyway, apparently the guy was here, but he was having trouble breathing because apparently he was choking on the bread he had just bought. And he went looking for something to drink. So, luckily, everything else that we need to do in the side quest is here in downtown. Just talk to the girl near the vending machine towards North Gate. Which is the one in the green, not the one in the yellow-orange. But apparently he didn't have a bag, so he must have lost it before coming here. How he could have lost it in the 30 feet that is there, I'm not sure. Then again, maybe they think you're going to have the buildings repaired, because I'm not repairing these buildings. That's my zenny. And then you're going to want to talk to this boy in red here, because apparently... Well, you're going to want to talk to him 3 times first off. Because apparently the guy went running by so fast to get a drink, he knocked into this guy, didn't say sorry, and dropped his bag. Then the kid put the bag in that trash can right there. What a series of unfortunate events, man. Anyway, after that, just head back to the inspector's office so you can turn in this side quest, so to speak. By the way, I should mention, I love the theme of the PlayStation. And don't inspect the desk, inspect the inspector. And the guy offers to give you some of his money, but we're good Samaritans, so we just take an arms supporter. You want this, let me tell you. It's one of the parts that, for some reason I was thinking that it was a Buster part, but it's not. It's a normal item that you use to make a certain very good sub-weapon. And that was me showing off the Omni unit, even though it's nowhere near as good as the stuff I have. So with that, we're actually going to cut back to the Flutter, I believe, at this point, because there's nothing else we can do. Yep, we're in Roll's room, and there's no audio because there was mass desync, so I had to sync it up. It kicks in right now. Anyway, I recommend saving right here, just in case, because this will be a... Because we're heading to the closer subgate, finally. And once you beat it, that is a temporary point of no return due to a boss gauntlet that you have to do. Slight spoilers there, but I'm not going to tell you the plot details, obviously. So I recommend making a save right here, just to be safe. Mind you, if you're me, you don't need it. I wonder if you guys can hear my radio in the background, because that's pretty loud, actually. Anyway, just go to the subgate, and she'll take you there automatically.
Up and away!
Shouldn't there have been ground around that subgate, considering that's where the Marl Wolf was digging? Kind of a forgotten detail there, Capcom. Anyway, just exit the door of the Flutter, and you're in the ruins, which is actually... I used to get stuck here, but it's not that hard at all, even though it looks like it. Although, I will give it this, I like the way it looks, because then again, that was grammar, because it's actually a completely unique-looking area. But then again, so was June Ruins and Garden Ruins.
Are you okay? Can you see a door somewhere? I can't get any readings of that room, Megaman. My monitor's completely blank. Take a look around and let me know what you see. It's my guess the power's out in that room. Can you see a switch anywhere?
I don't see any switches, but there's some writing here. Let's see. It says, Operations Room 2. Emergency system activation requires direct password input from Eden, or the insertion of 3 level 2 or higher prototype anthro unit ID cards.
What's a prototype anthro unit? I've never heard of that before. Well, whatever that is, you need 3 ID cards, right? If we're lucky, you'll be able to find them inside there.
So apparently Mega Man has the reading level of a 3rd grader. Actually, joking aside, there is a reason he was kind of hesitating with those letters, but we'll find out about that in about 12 or so minutes, maybe? Anyway, as I was saying, the closer subgate isn't that hard unless you get blindsided by one of these guys. And then get chased. There's 3 of them in this room, so be careful. You're going to want to do some good circle strafing. Or just throw a grenade in their face. That works too. Actually, the grand grenade does have some good power behind it. The only thing is you have to stop to throw it, so you need to be careful with that. It's not the best sub-weapon in the game. Oh, not by a long shot. We'll be getting that probably next part, actually. Yeah, actually, probably next part. Because keep in mind, even though we're only on episode 5, that's because these are an hour long or so episodes. I've seen Let's Plays of this go for around 20 parts of 10 to 15 minutes. Anyway, throughout this entire dungeon, you're going to see me backtracking through doors, seemingly uselessly in certain cases. In fact, completely uselessly in some cases. Because, while I know a lot of this game, this is the one dungeon in the game I can never remember where I'm supposed to go first. Because everything is so samey looking. And then you get blindsided by these guys. They all have official names, but I can never remember them. Because they're like all Germany and Germany. They're all like German and such. Even though I am a German, or I have German blood at least. You'd think I would know this stuff, but not really. Anyway, in this room we got some Zenny. And a telelens. That's useful for... actually, that is really useful. That's one half of the 2 one half of the 2 items. No. To make a really useful buster part for a section coming up, the sniper scope, which increases your range dramatically, and you're gonna really want that coming up. I forget where you get the other part. It's either in here or in an earlier area. But I guess if you followed this as a walkthrough, you'll pretty much find it no problem. And we got the guidance unit. That is another buster part that'll be useful coming up. Anyway, I could have actually jumped down right now because where I'm going leads to the exact same room. In fact, I think during the live recording I even said these 2 rooms linked to the same place eventually. But I forgot how quickly that happened. Let go. Thank you. By the way, this elevator does not work. Yet. So, don't try and investigate it. And we're back in the same room. Well, that was absolutely pointless. There are holes in the... what would you call these? Blocks? Pillars? Platforms. There we go. So make sure you get them, because some of them have pretty useful Zenny, and one of them has a museum artifact that you're going to want to get. Oh god. Thank you for jumping away, you absolute dunce. Don't you love abusable enemy AI like that? On the serious side, those guys explode if they touch you, so watch out for that. And then you got more shield guys, which are much easier in this area because it's so much more wide open. In fact, if you're doing a casual playthrough without going for everything, you only encounter these guys. Well, first off, there's the museum artifact. You only encounter these guys here and in the final area. And more Zenny. By the way, I'm about to make a mistake that only had really happened because I was recording live and not focusing on just playing the game. You don't have to jump onto this platform to jump onto the one over there. You can just jump right onto the other one. I don't. This was me being live. That's the one bad thing about live commentary, I will say, is that you have to focus on both the game and talking. Anyway, over here we get an ID card. Similar to the starter keys of the previous 2 dungeons, there are 3 of them in here. And you need all 3 in order to progress. However, they're not to get to the boss. You actually get one of the ID cards from the boss. But you do need them in order to progress. This is the way you should go. I don't know why I'm going to... Oh, it's because I forgot the dungeon layout. That's right. Actually, oh, hello! Remember these guys? Yeah, remember from back in part 1 in the original dungeon that you're in, where you start the game? Yeah, we got these spider enemies again. There are 3 of them in here, and, yeah. Also, I highly recommend having an explosive weapon with you, sub-weapon, like the Grand Grenade, maybe even the normal grenades. Why? Well, you'll find out in about a minute, maybe? Maybe 30 seconds. I will say, my current buster setup is awesome purely for its rapid fire, though, because this thing is awesome. Mind you, in Legends 2, I can negate the rapid stat entirely, but there's a certain abuse I'll be doing. Indeed there is. There's a false ceiling. Throw an explosive weapon at it, and you destroy it. The boss is in this direction. I'm showing this off mainly so I can just cut over here later. That random sidestep. I forget you can do that sometimes, actually. Actually, sidestep's not the right word. Dodge roll. There we go. Sidestep's when you hold the circle button and hold left or right. So yeah, that's where the boss room is. I'll be cutting back there later. So, to go on a bit of a tangent, I think I mentioned this in the last part, but I edited that section out just to save time. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy recently. To the point where I actually just beat 7, Dirge of Cerberus 7, Crisis Core 7. I did a bit of a 7 marathon, I know. And this one actually influenced the previous part. I actually just did my 8th playthrough of 9 in a long time. And my god, I love 9 so much. Final Fantasy 9 is amazing. In fact, that's actually why... that a bit of a behind-the-scenes here thing. That's why in the last part, when the Flutter was first flying for the first time since the beginning of the game, I used the Hildegard airship theme that you get on Disc 3? Yeah, that was Disc 3. So if you're a Final Fantasy fan, you probably recognize that immediately. If you're not, you're probably wondering what the hell that was. And there's your answer. Anyway, over here we actually got an entrance to the normal ruins. You're going to want to go this way. Note, there is an item beyond these walls as far as I can remember, so we will be coming back here once we get a certain weapon next part. And by that I mean we're coming back here next part, but we don't get the weapon until next part. And here you got an ancient book that is used for a sub-weapon. I think the grenade arm? So yeah, right in between those 2 purple things on the bottom right, I think there's an item in there. Think is the keyword. I say that a lot. Anyway, this time you're going to want to go all the way through the passage, because there is something of worth down here. And by that I mean the second ID card, which is to the left here, and that thing on the right, which hopefully you were able to see. And there's a better view of it. That thing is a generator. You need to interact with this in order to access the boss fight, so make sure you do that. This tripped me up on my first playthroughs, by the way, because this does not look... I didn't think to interact with this. In fact, that actually brings me back to Final Fantasy really quick. 7, as some of you probably know, uses the Japanese style of confirming and canceling things naturally. X to cancel, circle to confirm. This is one of the few games where I'm comfortable with that, which is kind of odd.
Hey, Megaman. Have you ever wondered where the Reaverbots came from? I mean, who made them, and why? You know, we go around doing digs all over the place, but is it right? It's almost like stealing. Megaman! I'm picking up 3 Reaverbots close by. Watch out!
Roll, you're only bringing that up now when you guys have been doing this for how long? Anyway, we've got the boss here, these 3 dog robots, which is really easy. Circle strafing is their weakness as usual. The only hard part about this is that since there's 3 of them, they all run on different paths, meaning that they can intercept your circle strafe. In fact, the fact that there's 3 of them is the only reason that this is a boss fight. These guys become normal enemies later on in the final dungeon. Slight spoiler there, but it's nothing big. They don't have much health either, and they're not like the 3 Servbot things that were in the early game before the first Bon fight. They all have the same stats as far as I'm aware. Though I do like the look of them. In fact, I like the look of the Reaverbots. They look pretty damn cool. Especially in 2. The ones in 2 just look amazing. Then again, 2 in general is just one of the best looking games on the PlayStation. Capcom knew their stuff with graphics back in the day. Still do. Though I wish they'd make a Mega Man game for the first time in 4 years! Oh god! Oh, 4 years since the last Mega Man game was released. That hurts. Well, last official Mega Man game. I don't count Street Fighter Cross Mega Man because that was a fan game to start with. Or at least it started out as one, then Capcom just kind of took it and made it their own thing. Anyway, we're actually back in the... Well, to get back to the game, we're actually back in the generator room, and the 3rd ID card is right up here to the right. And now that we have that, we're actually going to have to head back to the room where Mega Man had a 3rd grade reading level. Yay! Well, actually, we're about to find out the reason why he was reading it like that. I'm on top of the world, blah blah blah. Move on past me.
This is it. Once I'm inside the main gate, we should be able to figure out why the Reaverbots activated like that. But how come I can read these ancient letters?
Hey, the music in that part's always reminded me of the little Metroid da 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 da, and I have no idea why it always has. Anyway, we're done here in the Closer Ruins. Really short, right? Well, actually, I think the June Ruins may have been shorter. I will say the dungeons in this game are thankfully short. Then again, they expect you to be doing a lot of exploring in the normal ruins, so I guess it's understandable. So just take this elevator up, and you're done here. You never have to return here unless you want to grind Zenny. You know, there's a better place to do that I'll be talking about later on, probably next part. In fact, speaking of which, there may only be about 2 or 3 parts left of this. Anyway, one thing I want to bring up before I progress with the plot is that in the next cutscenes, I swear there is a remix of Cutman's theme. It may only be me that hears it, but I swear it's there. Pretty much just listen to the music in the upcoming cutscenes. You'll know when it's a cutscene due to the higher audio. And if you guys hear it too, please tell me, because I don't want to be crazy. Well, I don't want to be crazy in this case. Anyway, before moving on to the cutscenes, I recommend you item develop anything you got, and hope you get the Active Buster, which, if you got the guidance unit in that area, is really easy to do. The Active Buster is my second favorite sub-weapon in the game, actually. It shoots a missile forward that tracks your enemies. Well, it's not my second favorite, but it's in my top 5 sub-weapons at least. And it obviously just explodes, and it's really powerful too. And the Spread Buster is also very powerful. This is also my top 5 sub-weapons. It shoots out multiple little grenades, technically. And it can do a lot of damage up close. I'm not going to use it, though. And the Telelens and the other thing were used to make the Sniper Scope. This is the thing I mentioned earlier. You'll want to have this for the upcoming sequence due to the range that it gives you. Because range will be helpful. And I might as well show you... I don't think I've actually shown you guys the upgrade system yet, have I? Huh. Pretty much, spend Zenny on specific stats. Attack increases the attack power, energies, the amount of ammo, range is pretty self-explanatory. Rapid is the firing rate, and... Special differs depending on the one, like, range, distance, and it's kind of hard to explain what special does because it's different for every single one. Some of them it's more attack power, some of them it's bigger explosion radiuses or radii. It can vary. I know for some of them it may, I think for some of them it makes energy infinite. Think is the key word there. I really do say that a lot. Holy hell. It's like my catchphrase or something, except I have no actual catchphrase. I think. You guys might think otherwise. Why was I... Oh, I was talking here, likely. I think I was mentioning the Cutman thing here, actually. So yeah, pay attention to the music in this upcoming scene, and please tell me you guys hear it as well. This is not a case I want to be crazy in.
Okay, Megaman, hold on. Lift off!
It's the bonds.
Now that he's opened the main gate for us, we don't need to keep him around any longer. Time to blow him and that ship of his to Kingdom Come! All port cannons, prepare to fire! Fire!
We don't stand a chance out here. We'll have to try and hide in the clouds.
Cease fire! They're trying to lose us in the clouds. After them! That little ship's faster than she looks. Launch the drops! Don't let him get away! Let's see you escape this time.
Picking up a large number of little ships closing in on us. Megaman, can you take them out?
No problem, Roll.
So why give one of the Flutter's tail fins sink into it? That's kind of weird. Anyway, mission start. Final battle with the Gesellshaft. Destroy the Warcraft Gesellshaft while protecting the Flutter from attack. Very similar to the boat sequence rather from earlier. Though this first section is pretty damn pointless, honestly. Pretty much just hold down or mash the fire button, whichever you want, and you'll take out most of these ships before they have a chance to really do anything. Like, that one's dead. That one is now. And another one bites the dust. And then they're all down. That was pointless, wasn't it?
I'm on it, Megaman! Here we go!
Impossible! They shot down all the Drox! But they bought us enough time to catch up with Blue Boy there! Huh? Where'd they go? They're gone!
Tiesel! They're underneath us! They're right below the Gesellshaft!
Underneath? They couldn't have! They must have discovered our weak spot! Battle stations! It looks like they're serious. They want to go out fighting just like cornered rats! On your toes, everyone!
Roger! Rats?
I love that one sir bot that just goes, rats? Ugh. Anyway, thank you for telling us one of the weak spots, Tiesel, because the other two are pretty obvious. Yeah, as he just spoke. In fact, this battle is the reason you want range on your side, because then you can hit this thing really quickly. And I will admit, this is actually my fastest battle with the Gesellshaft ever. Shoot down the little belly part right there, and after that, start aiming for the wings. Why Tiesel designed his ship to have its weak spots, the parts that are necessary for flight? I'm not sure. Well, not decided, more like design flaws. But seriously, not even Mega Man does that much. You do have to shoot down these cannons and those cannonballs earlier, just so you don't get attacked, but it's pretty easy. In fact, I find this to be easier than the fight against the frog earlier. Although I do like the way the Gesellshaft looks. As I mentioned earlier, I just love the way this game looks in general. Although I will say Mega Man Legends 2 graphically is much better. In fact, I think Legends 2 might be one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 1. Did I already say that, or was that in the original recording? I forget. So yeah, really easy fight. But upon taking out the first 3 weak spots, you might notice he still has about 25% of his life bar. You have no idea how tempted I was to insert the Mega Man power line from ZX Advent there, by the way. The next weak spot, as Roll will thankfully take us to, is that thing. Though she doesn't know that herself.
They're still flying. There must be someplace we haven't hit.
Way to put us right in front of the weak spot, or actually that may have been them lowering. I can't tell. Why the biggest thing on the ship is the weak spot, I'll never know. Design flaw number 4078.
Megaman, if we're not careful, we'll be caught in the explosion. We've got to get out of here.
Right.
You didn't think you'd be able to take care of us that easily, did you? But they still managed to get me. I can't move my arm. It's up to you, Tron. Get him!
Leave it to me, Tiesel. He's gone too far this time. No more playing around.
Third boss of this kind of gauntlet thing going on. This is the Fock Wolf. Note, I said Fock. F-O-C-K-E. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. This is another reason you want range on your side, though it is also really easy, because with my stats, I do a lot of damage really quickly, as you just saw. Basically, this thing only has, I think, 3 attacks. These missiles, which are probably the biggest threat to you or Roll. This thing right here, where she pretty much just carpet bombs you with bullets, and then that little bullet shot thing that she did earlier. Really easy, and one thing I noticed when recording this live, the missiles have the Bond face on them. I never noticed that. Or, it's more of a skull face. I wonder if that's a reference to Dr. Wily, or if they're just pirates. It's an interesting thought, actually. I never thought about that. Is that a reference to Wily, or are they just pirates? Huh. Well, I'll admit, though, I love the way this thing looks. This thing looks like something straight out of, like, Gundam or Xenogears. The reason you really want an active buster is in case you're running low on HP and you just want to do a lot of damage really quickly. I'm not sure if it can reach her most of the time, though. I'm not too sure about that. Because honestly, my buster is usually good enough as it is. I just brought it along as a precaution. I do think you have to hit her head when she's doing that attack there, by the way. Also, I brought this up during the live recording, so I didn't say it here, but aren't we supposed to just be flying from the Closer Woods to where the Flutter usually is? We should be there by now. Are we just flying around the island to have this epic sky battle, or is there just plot holes and flaws in the laws of time and space going on here? I failed that sentence like 3 times. But yeah, honestly, the Fock Wolf, it's nothing too difficult.
Tiesel. I lost.
Don't worry your pretty little head over it, Tron. We tried our best, but sometimes your best isn't good enough. We lost fair and square. That's life.
They did eject, didn't they?
I don't think so.
Maybe we should have taken it easier on them.
Maybe.
So, we just murdered 2 siblings, an evil baby, and 40 or 41 cute little robots? We're good people, aren't we? Yeah. So, did you hear the cut, man, or is it still just to me? Anyway, Barrel's here, and he tells us to go to the main gate, which is the next plot objective. However, there's still a side quest or 2 I want to do. Well, Actually, just 2.
Hey! What do you think you're doing? Whoops. Get out of here now! Next time, knock before opening the door. Sorry, Roll.
That's actually a bit of a running joke in the Legends series. You can walk in on Roll when she's changing, or showering in 2. You can only do that now, so if you want to see it, do it now, but then again, you just watched it here. Anyway, from here, I'm actually going to head over to Apple Market, because there's another side quest I can do right now, so let's go do that. If I would exit the door, please. Thank you. And back at Apple Market, there's this guy with a yellow hat here in front of the vegetable store, and his wife's gone for a while and hasn't come back yet. What he doesn't tell you is she's pregnant. Well, he hints towards it, but they never outright say it. Pretty much, she is. If you remember, if you run past the flutter towards the area to get to Cardin Ruins, there's the entrance to the main ruins. You can get to the left, and then there's a way to the right. Right over here, if you go to the right, you can find a woman doubles over in pain. Gee, I wonder what's happening. And she's broken water. Fantastic! I never thought I'd see a birth in a Megaman game, and Megaman being the guy who kind of saves that. Huh. So yeah, this is just a short little side quest. It's fairly worth it to do it, though, I think. Let me look up what the item does. I forget. Anyway, to get the reward, you have to actually exit and re-enter the, that was a burp, hospital, so I'll do that really quick. Oh, that's what it is. I know what it does now, never mind. And for doing that, we got the sunlight. That is used to make one of the best Buster parts in the game. And by the way, looking at the TV here, I know where Battle Network gets its really stupid-looking TV shows from. In fact, I think they reused that exact same image. Think is a keyword there. I really say that all over the place, don't I? Goddamn. Anyway, I'm gonna go turn in that little item we got.
That's a catalog spell. They're found only on this island. No one knows what they're used for. Is it okay if I put this
Damn
on
right.
display?
This is actually the penultimate item in this side quest. There's only one left, and it's in the final area. So we'll be completing this next part. Booyah! And I'm cutting to here because I needed a good place to segue. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and oh so much for subscribing. I never thought I'd see a day where we hit 60. Hopefully we can go for 100. well, baby steps first, Kyle. Baby steps. Let's go for 70 first. Thank you guys oh so much for subscribing and watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be. Probably either 500 videos or 70 subscribers. And I hope you're all... See you guys then. And I hope you're all having a fantastic... let's see, this is getting uploaded tomorrow. So, Sunday! Or whatever day it is due to International Dateline.